Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Boys from the Baltic Star. The boys are back in town. We're literally back in town. Put that on the spot. Oh no! Please don't log off. Please, we need the views. If you don't know what we are a Traveller tabletop roleplay game adventure. Traveller being set in space, the wide expanses, and we're currently on a planet. We have a Twitter, which is @BoysBaltic. It's worth following just for general shenanigans. I'm Luke over here. In fact, for those that have been following us for weeks, there's a lot of beards going on. But tonight you may notice a distinct lack of beards on two sides. I am Luke without a beard. Ben has had his 6-weekly shave. The badger is dead. R.I.P. the badger. He looks 20 years younger. He looks like he should be in a school uniform, quite frankly. And in the middle, the man still waving the flag for the beard. The man with the Fortnite headphones. It is Ewan, my partner in crime. Ben doesn't know, but he might be quickly realising that Ewan and I went for pre-drinks. And so, cheers, and who knows what on earth could happen tonight. But for now, over to Ben.
Thank you. So, last week, on Giikur, our travellers have completed their exploration of Earth Park. While there, they met a local Black Sun commander, Emma Corbett, and spotted an old enemy, Falco. Falco fled at the sight of them, taking a boat and crossing the lake to escape, the travellers in hot pursuit. It turned out the lake wasn't entirely uninhabited, however, and a vast shark, Megalodon, attacked. While the boats didn't all make it, the people all survived, just by a tooth-skin margin. Following their excitement, the travellers decamped to their hotel on the Kuala Plateau, and that is where we resume the story. Literally, as you guys have just walked out onto the centre of Kuala by the transit point, and you are looking at these two giant buildings, and the last thing you did was made the decision to walk towards the Earth Park Hotel rather than the Earth Park headquarters.
We did. I feel like we're a bit sort of sweaty and panicked, and it would be nice to freshen up a bit. I know they want us to meet up with them, hopefully to offer us free annual passes, which we don't really have a need for. But that's what I'm hoping for. Oh, imagine we could keep this going for years. This would be great. but they said they can wait, so I think let's go to the hotel, book in, and sort of just bit of freshening up and that. So we'll head to the hotel, to the desk, and sort of give them. Oh, we have to tell them that someone sent us, don't we? Or was that for another hotel? I can't remember. Oh no, that's for another hotel.
The other hotel.
Yeah.
Was that Latter?
Yeah, that's for the one on Latter.
Yeah. In which case, we'll just turn up wearing all our gear, and they'll just assume that we belong.
Excellent. Okay. So you don't actually have to roll for survival this time.
Streetwise then.
Streetwise. Yes, you wander into the hotel. It is a holiday maker hotel. It is intended for that purpose. So it has a large lobby area, and that lobby is surrounded by not just bars and restaurants intended to provide stuff for people to do in the evenings, but also actual entertainment venues. There's a couple of gaming rooms. There are places where you can see what's going on at the park. Sort of cameras are in the park, and inside the hotel lobby and the various rooms, there are screens showing images from inside the park, and there are some quite artistic sort of art pieces, hollows of the creatures that you can see when you visit, including right down the middle of this lobby, a whole series of large holographic projectors in the floor, which project animated images of some of the creatures. after a few seconds, they change to show different creatures, and there are 3 of these dotted down the middle of the hallway. At the end of the entranceway is a large reception desk area, which is manned by actual people.
Cool. Kara will zigzag her way through the holographic images, causing them to burst around her a little bit, I guess, just for the funsies.
Yep.
And because she doesn't want to be the one checking in, basically. She's alone. She's just enjoying herself a little bit.
Fair enough. Anyone else going to reception, or you going to explore elsewhere first?
Agnar will walk up to reception. If no one else has got anything pressing that they wish to do.
No.
Good evening, sir. Can I help you?
Hello, yes. I'm not sure. It looks like you've got a live feed from the park here. I'm not sure if you recognise us. We're the we're the group that narrowly avoided death by the giant shark.
Yes, sir. Wow, that was some excitement, wasn't it?
Do I get the feeling he's patronising me?
He does sound a lot like Tim Curry, this guy.
I mean, he might not be, but
if you don't immediately get the feeling that he's patronising as much as he's used to saying what people want to hear.
Sure. Okay.
Being in a sort of service industry.
Yes, it was. We're all very, very tired. We need to clean up. I think. We'd like some rooms, please.
Oh, absolutely, sir. How many would you like?
Agnar turns around and does a quick head count. And we're at 6. Is that
There
right?
are 6 of you, yes.
Is that doubles? Are we going twins?
Can we? Is there enough to? Does it break down that way?
Well, you can have twin rooms, single rooms. You can get a suite if you'd like one.
Agnar will sort of shout back to what I imagine is kind of a sprawled out ragtag group of adventurers, if you will, and just say, sleeping arrangements. How many rooms?
Kara will say, me and Rose are sharing.
Okay.
Agnar will say, can we get how many suites do they have? Out of interest.
At the moment, there are 3 that are available, unoccupied.
Oh, wonderful. He'll say we'll take 3 suites, please.
3 suites. Oh, excellent. Each suite contains 2 double rooms and a sitting room area.
Wonderful.
Wow,
That sounds
lots of
perfect.
space.
Okay. Well, that would be tremendous. Yes. The rack rate for 3 suites is 1,500 credits per night.
Per suite?
For all 3.
Oh.
Wonderful. That sounds brilliant. I'm not sure. Is it just the one night we're here? We'll look over his shoulder again and shout back to the group.
Yeah, I think we were going one night. We're moving on to more fascinating parts, I believe.
Greener pastures. He won't say that out loud.
You're the one whose ancestors used to hunt in pastures.
Okay.
He'll say, I think we're here for one night. But that
Okay.
sounds wonderful.
Yeah, that's absolutely fine. Yes, very well. Your suites are available whenever you'd like them, sir.
Perfect. We don't have much luggage. I'm pretty sure it's just what we're carrying with us. We'll head up straight away. Is everyone ready?
Yeah.
If not, we can wander around a little bit.
Soraya will grab Stefan and say, "Come on, then we'll share one of the suites. There's 2 rooms anyway, so we'll share one, and leave the old boys to their cigar and whiskey stinking their suite." Sort of nodding towards Agnar and to Rick.
Stefan will just look back at her and say, "Party suite."
always the party suite.
Yes, the party suite. Excellent. Yes. Yeah. As you can imagine, the person behind the counter always loves to hear that.
Are the
Especially when looking at someone like Stefan, I would imagine.
Soraya will look at him and say, "Are the TVs are they screwed in or are they detachable?"
They're mounted on the wall, ma'am.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Thank you. And she'll turn to the lift and sort of head off at that point. March off.
Yes. He looks slightly less confident and sure of himself than he did when you first arrived. There is a lift system which is right in the middle of the lobby in a pedestal, and the lifts go up and down without any obvious means of support. They just rest gently on the pedestal, mount in the ground, and then there's nothing above them. You can sort of see straight over them as you approach, and then they smoothly lift up to whatever floor through an elegantly shaped hole in the ceiling.
Elegant. Well, I've got no reason to be in the atrium of you, Ewan.
No, I'm happy to proceed to the rooms.
Proceed upwards.
Okay. You arrive at your suites, which are they're not literally next to each other, but they're all on the same level, which is right at the top of the hotel. They are all in the same corridor. The door opens into a sort of corridor area with a couple of cupboards, and there's a fresher for the suite off to one side, and off to the other side a little miniature kitchenette kind of place. And then just a few yards further on, it opens out into a large sitting room with sofas and coffee tables, a bar in the corner, and a large wall of windows. And those windows look out over the city as evening falls. There seems to be a balcony outside which runs the full length of those windows, and to your left and right there are doors through to the 2 bedrooms.
I take it there's like an intercom system back to the main desk or something like that for if you need assistance?
Yes, absolutely.
So I would like to pick up the intercom and make a call back to the front desk.
Mm-hmm.
Has he picked up?
Yes.
Hi, this is the party that just took the 3 suites.
Yes. I trust everything's in order.
It's wonderful. Just wondering if something, if something was to fall off the balcony, is it easy from where we are to get down and retrieve it?
If something were to fall off the balcony?
Yes.
Well, to an extent, it depends on which balcony, but I think the balconies that face over Kuala itself are more or less over the street or the areas immediately surrounding the hotel. There are some balconies that look out over the edge of Kuala, and that might be falling for a while.
Okay, thank you very much. And Sarah will sort of half put a hand over the phone and say, "Put it back, don't throw it over. It's going to be too much effort to get it back." And then just hang up.
Roll a deception check with intellect for me, please.
Oh, hang on, where are we? Deception. Oh, why did I pick Soraya? With intellect, you say?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Oh, that's my hand. 7 + 1 is 8.
Okay. It isn't entirely clear whether or not he bought your deception. He might have started to realise that you're poking fun at him a bit.
Oh, I like him. He's a nice boy. We'll call him Tim.
Perhaps we should have asked his name.
We should have asked his
rather
name.
than just assigning him with one.
Curses.
Next time.
Yes.
Time.
Yeah.
Next world.
So I guess this is the de facto party room. This is the de facto Stefan and Soraya suite.
Yeah. Stefan will look at Soraya and say, "Do you want left or right?"
She'll go. I'll go. I'm always in the right, so I'll go right.
Stefan goes to walk left and then realises that he's standing the other side of the doors to Soraya.
The classic mistaken direction.
Walk stage left.
Yeah. Oh no!
Yeah.
Don't bring stage left into it.
Yes, fantastic. Okay. Yes, once you enter the bedrooms, what you discover is that they also have a full height wall of windows overlooking the same direction as the sitting room, and they have their own balconies as well, which are in fact a continuation of a single balcony, basically, which runs all the way along the wall of the suite, across both bedrooms and the sitting room, and all three rooms have doors onto the balcony.
Fantastic. Kara's going to reach for the bar, especially as it's not her room. This is great. and she's going to pull out the selection of, I guess it's mini spirits and mixers and the bottles of beer and whatever's in it, and crack them out. Because it's still early evening, isn't it? I guess by the time, because it's midnight, yeah. So she sort of throws the bottles around to people, and sort of her and Rose will chink. If Rose is willing to, of course, we'll chink a couple of bottles together.
Oh, Rose will enthusiastically join in a drink, yes.
Fantastic.
Yes.
I'm sure I'm going to say, right, I guess we've got, if we are going to go there this evening, I guess we've got a few hours to hang out, chill out, eat a bit, and I guess we grace them with our presence as the evening wears on.
Okay. As you explore the other suites, you discover they're functionally the same, except that one of them, which is on the other side of the building, the balcony doesn't actually look out over the city. It actually looks out over the completely open west of the island, and beyond that to the ocean in the far distance. It is a very, very long drop from the balcony there, down off the plateau itself, plunging down into the sort of forested valley below.
Oh, a beautiful thing. Kara opens the window and shouts, "Hello, anybody!" And then just closes the window again. It felt like it needed to be done.
Okay. Right. So you've found your rooms. There doesn't appear to be anything, suspicious about them or anything like that. Obviously, you can have a drink, you can freshen up. The hotel will happily provide you with cleaning services for any clothing, or obviously they can do room service, or you can head down and have a bite to eat in one of the restaurants. However you want to spend your evening, basically.
Nice. Cara's going to start it the most boring way possible, I'm afraid, Ben, because it's been at least 6 hours since she set the the computer to look for trading people.
Yeah.
It absolutely has. Yes,
It definitely
indeed.
seems like a good idea to check it here rather than move on and find out that we've got to go back to Kuala.
Exactly. It's as if at least I can get a name or something, and then I can hold it in my back pocket, while we do other things. Yeah.
Yes, indeed.
Exactly. Got wares to flog,
Bear with me for a
Stuff to
second.
buy, stuff to sell.
Girl needs new guns, man.
Right. Okay. So.
And it's worth. I think everyone's got a 20% stake in these, in the wares. I think. Well, worth getting a seller.
Absolutely right.
Yes. Oh, just a quick bookkeeping note. I've marked off the credits for the rooms.
Oh,
Okay.
You're such an honest Agnar.
Wow.
Good lad. Okie dokie.
He doesn't mind paying when we check out, but I'll mark it off now.
Great.
Because I'll forget.
No, indeed.
Okay. That's...
Oh, OBS is going janky, just in case. Oh no, it's back. That's good. If you've got relief.
Cool.
Okay.
I had a moment.
Right. You have found in your search a possible broker. Can you roll 1d6 for me, please?
I can. Oh, this is when I don't know whether 1 or 6 is. Oh, I hate it when you do this. It's the only time when I want a 3 to come up, and I wasted that 3 before we turned the cameras on. I've hit a 2.
You never thought you'd really want a 3 that
No,
badly.
I was quite happy to lose that 3, but now I want it a 2.
A 2.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, you have indeed identified a broker. This is not a heavy trading planet, being largely a tourist sort of place. But there does appear to be a broker called Homer Dawes, D-A-W-E-S.
Oh. Okay.
And he does indeed have his office on Kuala.
Ooh. Nice. That sounds like a tomorrow morning kind of job. Fantastic. While she's sort of, I'm picturing her as sort of her and Rose in their rooms, a bit of music on, swigging from the mini bottles, a bit of sort of chilling out, a bit of dancing while she's doing it. So so she's sort of swigging from it. The music's a bit of grooving, bit of sort of changing her clothes, chucking the dirty ones ready for a bit of room service to sort of, the cleaning service to take it. And with one hand leaning over to the computer and sort of tapping in, trying to find his details, and sort of pinging him off a message saying, "Hi, trader in town. Are you free for a chat tomorrow?" kind of thing,
Yes. Yeah. Okay. You send him a message. Yes, he responds just a few minutes later with his office location, which is on the southern tip of Kuala, and an indication that you can come and see him anytime in the morning.
Cool. Fantastic. There we go. Happy days. In which case, to finish up that room, I guess she'll pull on fresh gear. Pull her. Vac suits are big, bulky things, right? Can you have them half on or half off, or are they literally that's what you're wearing, like a Cyberman kind of thing?
They are the way I envisage them is that they are relatively bulky items, and in order to function as vac suits, they have to be put on as a whole thing.
Yeah.
However, I don't see any inherent reason why they couldn't be, if you like, unzipped down the front and folded around the waist. So you could be carrying the top half of your vac suit kind of around your waist, loosely tied.
That is exactly the style that she would generally go for, I think. And unless I know there's combat from now on, that's what she'll tend to do. So she'll have that around the waist, put on her. She'll take off the t-shirt from Earth Park is wet and nasty from being in the sea. So she'll just throw it back on her other top. She'll sort of slot her weapons back into the holsters and that. Freshen up a little bit, ready for the evening. And I guess if Rose is ready to go, that's the end of that room. They're ready to head out when everyone else is.
Cool. Anyone else doing special preparations, or is it just getting into your regular sort of urban survival equipment and weaponry?
No, not really. I mean, I suppose in the contrast, Agnar will probably freshen up, have a shower. I imagine his, whatever in-shower radio they have, he's got some classical music going.
Sure.
Of course he does.
And then blow dry his entire body.
Yeah. Work out the hairdryer across his whole body, and then
Rick, stand there. Hold two at once.
It's a two-man job.
It's a two-man job.
Yes, I think I shaved an entire Agnar off this morning. It was quite impressive. So, all right, okay. Any other special preparation? I can tell you that as far as Rick and Rose are concerned, they will just, get ready for an evening, but they're not, particularly heavily equipped with anything special.
I guess, although it's the party room, Soraya and Stefan are probably the two more naturally suspicious of what could be going down, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, Soraya will get ready. Again, vac suit around the waist, but will definitely be packing in as much gear as she can into the pockets. The stuff that she's bought around, some electronic, her like tool laser, bit of electronic toolkit. Just because she's suspicious. She's a suspicious person. So, but yeah, so she's ready for action, I guess. Even though it's a nice night out.
Yeah.
Okay.
Stefan will leave the majority of his weapons. Certainly the flamethrower, I think, is probably a bit over the top for the night out. But he will take his knuckle blasters gloves with him.
Just in case.
Yeah, just in case. And possibly he'll keep the truth serum on him that he has.
Nice.
Okay,
Somewhere about his person in the pocket.
All right.
But he'll leave a laser pistol and everything else behind, apart from the stuff that's built into his body.
Yep.
Oh.
Yep. Yes, he is actually equipped as a deadly weapon in his own right, after all.
Depending on how the rolls go.
Double axe handle.
Right. So you all make your way back down. The lifts are actually quite impressive when you see them move from outside. But if anything, they're even more so when you step into them. The floor is opaque. But on each level, when you step into the lift, of course, it looks very much like an ordinary lift. And then it just falls silently through the floor and down level after level after level, because you're all the way at the top of the hotel, all the way down to the lobby, where it emerges from this very high ceiling, and then gently comes to a stop on its pedestal. The doors open, and you can step out. It is a quite smooth and impressive experience, clearly designed for a tourist kind of hotel. So, where to?
The front desk, where Soraya approaches Tim.
Okay.
Leans over and says, "Hey Tim, just wondering, you have a clean? I guess you have cleaning crew that go around in the morning when everyone leaves.
Of course.
Are they equipped for like blood and human liquids?
Roll on the deception with intellect.
Is it deception?
Is it so? Oh, yeah. Who knows? 9. I'm feeling better about this one. 8 + 1, 9.
He nods and sort of glances around your group slightly more warily this time and says, yes, depending, of course, on whether or not we're required to hold off cleaning until the police have finished their work. Yes.
Sarai will smile and say, "Oh, cool, thank you very much," and sort of pat Agnar on the shoulder, say, "It's all right. Come on, let's go."
Okay. Excellent stuff.
Are we off for food, or
Yeah, let's find
are we going to? Before we leave, can Stefan just approach the front desk?
Oh,
yes.
And he'll just say, "I'm sorry about my friend."
how dare you?
I apologise for her. Do you have is there a concierge here? Is there a way you can acquire something for me?
I'm happy to take care of that for you myself.
Wonderful. I'm after, and you might have to correct me here, Ben, because I might be way off what is available. I'm after a book, quite a heavy, thick book.
Okay. The content of the book would be?
It's non-specific. It doesn't have to be anything important. Perhaps something about the history of Earth. We're at Earth Park.
Okay. Now, routinely, books aren't used for information, really. We tend to handle things electronically.
Yes.
But if you want an actual physical book, I believe there is an antiquarian shop. In fact, I'm certain there is on Lata. Would you like me to contact them for you?
Of course there is.
If you wouldn't mind contacting them and just asking, we are in fact due to visit Lata at some point during our stay, but if you wouldn't mind making inquiries as to whether they could hold such a book, if they have one, for me, that would be perfect.
Okay. I will make a call. Yes. Would you like to wait, or shall I handle it and let you know when you get back?
Just let me know when we're back. That'd be wonderful. The thicker the book, the better.
You'd like the book to be purchased based on its size, not its content, essentially.
Well, ideally both, but as long as it's substantial, I think it would do.
Very well. I will see what I can do. Is there any particular age of book that's important to you?
No, not at all.
Okay. Well, yes. I will see what I can manage, sir.
Thank you very much. And in return, I'll try and keep the human blood and things to, a minimum. And he'll turn and walk away.
An actual minimum would be good, sir. Yes, thank you.
Waves off behind his shoulder.
I just hope he ends up with the yellow pages.
I mean, that's the kind of thing but preferably with, nicer bound and with some different content than
good old yellow pages.
Yes.
If you need a builder from the 1970s.
Yeah. Contact Stefan. He'll hook you up.
God, he knows. Right, we'll head out into the evening looking for hotels, cruising for hotels. No, cruising for restaurants. Sorry, yeah.
Okay. What you notice as you leave is all of those sort of restaurants and entertainment centres that were around the lobby of the hotel itself. They all seem to also have doors out onto the street, because they advertise for the passing trade as well as people coming in from the lobby. So those ones you see immediately. The area immediately around you has it's essentially one quite long boulevard which runs from this hotel to the Earth Park corporate headquarters building. And though off the sides of that boulevard, there doesn't seem to be a lot going on. It seems to be small businesses, offices, the occasional accommodation area. This boulevard itself is reasonably busy with people going back and forth. And there do seem to be additional restaurants, cafes, bars dotted around off both sides.
Cool. Cara will turn to Rick and say, Rick, what sort of food do you like?
Well, almost anything, but I think since we're here, perhaps some more Earth food would be good.
Ah, barbecue. Suspicious meats.
Soylent Green for everyone.
Let's face it, Soylent Green is the only Earth food you literally can't make without Earth people.
It's the most Earth of all the Earth foods.
It is.
I would argue, yeah.
Is there a restaurant that jumps out as being like authentic Earth cuisine?
There are a couple that advertise their Earth-like status. Yes, there is one that is seemingly a relatively small affair, and seems to be trying to recreate an Earth-like dining experience. It's essentially in the form of a brasserie. And not very far away from that, on the other side, is a much larger frontage to a place called the Food Palace, which advertises an enormous and absolutely bewildering variety of different kinds of food, but pretty much all of them seem to be Earth-based.
Cara will look at Agnar and say, I can guess where the best whiskey's probably going to be found.
Agnar looks at Earth Palace, looks back, just shakes his head.
To the brasserie it is.
To the brasserie. Okay. The brasserie, which identifies itself literally as a brasserie in the title, it calls itself the Brasserie Vendôme, is designed to give the impression of a small French restaurant. It isn't actually quite as small as it appeared from the front, because the entranceway is deliberately made to look very quaint. Once inside, it's a substantially larger space, but still not huge.
Cool. Cara will look around for, is there like a front, there's someone that's sort of hovering with a few digital menus or something with an apron on, waiting to see anyone, or is it straight to sit down?
There is actually someone who meets you at the door as you enter. There is a bar and counter on the right, which is filled with some slightly not completely authentic Earth-like decoration, and steers you through to a large round table in one corner of the main area at the back, and immediately starts reading out a spiel of which salads and sandwiches and other light foods and bites they offer. It's everything from steak and chips to sort of sausage and sauerkraut to niçoise salad. It's relatively light dining, not massively formal.
Carl, so this is all well and good, but first, while we're considering, could you please get us the best whiskey you've got? She looks at Sarai and Sarai nods. 2 beers, Stefan? Beer? Something else?
Yeah.
3
Stefan will nod back.
Rose? Beer? Something else?
Beer or wine?
Beer, wine. Okay, and Rick?
Oh, I'd love some whiskey, thank you.
Okay, 2 of the best whiskies you got, 3 beers, and a bottle of wine with a few glasses.
Okay. The waiter disappears and returns moments later with a tray to deliver your order. It is not that common these days to have traditional table service, and clearly they take some pride in it here.
I'm feeling very comfortable. You're painting a beautiful picture. I'm feeling very comfortable right now. Food. And then Cara says, "That's as far as I know. I know nothing about this food." that's someone else's job.
Well, unless you want to go into detail, we can allow for the fact that everybody orders something they like.
Exactly, yeah.
Has a nice drink.
Oh, lovely.
Finishes with some nice French roast coffee. And after, an hour and a half or so there, you sort of spill your way back out onto the main concourse, the main boulevard of the island, or the peak.
Just out of curiosity, how was the whiskey?
Pretty good.
Ooh, good stuff.
That's
all I needed.
Add it to your list of your rating list of best whiskies.
Yeah, places to come back to.
the Brasserie Vendôme on Giikur. Yeah, add it.
Yeah. Wonderful.
What sort of time are we at, Ben?
In our terms, it'll now be knocking on the door of about 8-9 p.m.
Cara will turn to Agnar and say, business?
Quick business meeting and enjoy the rest of the night, or do we just push through and see them tomorrow morning? Did we? I don't think we guaranteed that we'd be there
this
today,
evening.
Did we? Or did we? What did we say this evening?
Well, you suggested that this evening might be possible.
In that case, Agnar is, he's nothing if not a man of his word. We will say, let's make it brief, and then we'll head out for the evening and show our crewmates a bit of the nightlife.
Exactly.
Okay.
So yes, Cara will turn to Rick and Rose and say, get warmed up, and we'll come find you in an hour or so.
Okay. They sort of nod and wander off towards one of the sort of bar cafe places on the other side of the street.
All right. Off to Black Sun the security HQ then, I guess, or whatever it is. Well,
the Earth Park HQ.
Yeah, whatever it is. Yeah,
Okay.
Earth Park HQ.
Yeah. Okay. The building is extremely imposing. It's almost as big as the hotel, and those two buildings are the only really large ones on this entire plateau. They loom over the whole city. You walk into the lobby, and instantly the receptionist recognizes the group of you, and steps out from behind her desk to come and say welcome. She's chatting on her communicator a little bit, presumably passing on the fact that you've arrived, and without any delay whatsoever shows you towards a lift, which is pre-programmed to take you to the relevant floor.
There we go. To the relevant floor we go.
Okay. The doors open into a hallway, the end of which is a large glass-walled conference room, and inside that, a couple of people putting paperwork down on desks, who then immediately look up when the doors open and come trotting over to say hi. Welcome. Glad you could come and see us. Mr. Patero is waiting for you in his office. And they steer you sort of enthusiastically down one side of the corridor to a door which they knock on, open immediately, and show you through to a very, very large office indeed. The office is clearly that of a senior executive. Lan Patero himself.
Oh, hang on. How are we spelling?
Lan.
Lan.
Potero.
Thank you.
Lan Patero himself is a relatively young man. He is quite affable looking, very smartly dressed, and walks over to offer his hand to shake and welcome you to his office.
Oh, it's just a nice office.
Thank you.
Soraya looks out the window. If you drop something from this window, would it be easy to pick it up again?
I suppose that would depend on how heavy it was.
Okay, thank you. And she just wanders back over again.
Agnar will walk up and shake his hand and say, well, thank you for inviting us, I suppose.
You're very welcome. And, well, I must say, you have had a different Earth Park experience to most of our visitors. Normally, we don't encourage people to go boating away from the shallows like that. It's certainly novel, and I'm delighted to see that nobody was hurt.
Agnar says, well, I mean, it was a wonderful experience. We enjoyed everything thoroughly. It was, I can't think of anything that could have been nicer for our day.
Excellent. I'm glad you're enjoying Earth Park. Yes. I did have a few questions. The first, I suppose, is why were you crossing the lake in boats?
As Agnar's chatting with him, by the way, can Kara drop to the back and can she do her usual kind of attempted sneaky check of her EM probe?
Yes, by
Please.
all means.
Thank you.
Yes, can you roll a check for it? That's electronics. You're looking for communications, aren't you? Probably?
Yes, yeah, just anything that's sort of in there that can pick that something.
Electronics comms with the EM probe bonus.
Thank you.
Which I think is +2, isn't it?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a +4. Should be good. It should be all right. It's a 12 all in total.
Yes, it fires off immediately and reports to her that the entire office is clearly recording everything that's said in it.
Okay, thank you. I guess she'll. So as Lan is sort of asking that question of, I guess Agnar's front and centre as he's the man talking, she'll sort of side behind and give him that a little dig in the ribs kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
You know, just like a little dig in the ribs, and that's sort of it, really.
Okay.
Agnar will say, well, it's our I'm sure you must be aware. I'm sure you know who visits your park. It's our first time at Earth Park. We weren't we weren't entirely sure that it wasn't the done thing. To be honest, there were numerous boats and what appears to be a beautiful lake. And we'd swum in it earlier. We assumed that boat trips were included in the package.
Can you roll a deception with
Oh,
intellect?
goodness sake. Where's Agnar's deception? Oh, no.
Agnar's got a 1.
Can't use his social skills. He's like hobnobbing.
He uses,
He's
rubbing elbows.
He's had a couple of expensive whiskies.
If
He's
you'd like to
holding
use
court.
if you'd like to use social instead of intellect, that's fine.
Oh, peak general holding court.
The good news is he rolled a 9 plus 3.
Okay. Yes, Patero sort of nods along and he frowns slightly and he says, I see. I don't think that had ever occurred to us. We should probably make that more clear and secure the boats more carefully, shouldn't we?
I mean, I apologise on behalf of my colleagues and I, but yeah, I mean, at least one of those little, ropes to imply that you're not allowed to go beyond that rope would be beneficial. I feel for everyone. I mean, we're lucky we didn't have any small children with us. That's for sure.
I don't know. You could probably outswim them.
Wait, we started the day with 3 young children.
And yes, we could all outswim them.
I demand recompense.
Right. While Agnar's there, he'll say, and I was mildly disappointed that the shark didn't show up on my my augmented, and he'll scroll through all of the animals that he's checked off on his augmented reality app.
Oh.
I perhaps you could add it.
Well, yes, it is planned eventually to be the centerpiece of an additional exhibit. We're not entirely sure how to best do that, though, because we can't. Well, we can't. It's much bigger boats. If you, for example, put tourists in boats, for habit of seeing them as intruders, domain, and quite hard to put in any kind of fixed installation, which you could get used to, because of the sheer size of the water it needs. You could be down there for a very long time and never see it, because it requires an enormous body of water to be comfortable. And that enormous body of water obviously means that it could be nowhere near your observation area.
Yes. I understand, Agnar says. I mean, perhaps if you had some kind of fixed installation and refreshments stroke a restaurant, some way to make money whilst people spend hours waiting for nothing to show up.
Possibly. Or we have been thinking about ways to maybe attract it to turn up on an agreed schedule where people would know that they could see it. It turns out, actually, right now, the problem is partially seemingly taking care of itself. I don't know if you've seen any of the live footage from the Blissful Beach recently, but a large number of people seem to be swimming out to the barrier and taking inflatables and other things out there to lie on, and they're periodically diving down to peer through the barrier to see if they can catch a glimpse of it on the other side.
Kara will sort of lean over Agnar and say, look, Agnar's got an annual pass. Why don't you just dangle him over the water every day? I'm sure it'll...
Regular feeding times.
It seems to like him. And then she just goes back to whatever she was doing again. being a bit agent of chaos for a minute.
Yes.
Just wandering off.
Yes, I feel we'd quite rapidly run out of available Agnars, wouldn't we?
Put him on a strong bungee.
As you can tell, I mean, the shark it's very large and very powerful. And it's possible you're not aware of this, but there are in fact 2 of them in there.
Whoa.
We weren't aware of this, no.
They originally, I think we were aiming to have more, but even with 2, it appears there is some territoriality. We only seem to be able to get away with it because one is male and the other is female, and it's possible they will eventually breed, which would be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, couldn't think of anything more lovely.
And then you will have more.
Yes, though possibly briefly, and we don't really have anywhere else that we could easily store such large sharks unless we well, I suppose we could always just release them into the oceans, but I feel there might be some objections to that.
Cara leans over again and says, "You spent so much time thinking about whether you could. You didn't stop to think about whether you should." And then wanders off again.
Yes, I know. We'll have to do something about it, and must go faster.
Must go faster. I kept looking back, and they kept appearing bigger than I thought they would be.
They may be closer than they appear.
Maybe they were closer.
Yes, but yes, that's surely for us to worry about. In any event, I wanted to extend my apologies for obviously any unhappiness that you've suffered through your experience. To let you know that edited versions of parts of your excursion will be used in our publicity campaigns, and also to ask if there's anything else that you would want from us or that we could do for you while you're here on Giikur.
Cara leans over before anyone has a chance to talk again and says, "While we discuss, if you're using our footage, can we have some sort of percentage blowback on that?"
I'm sorry, but we're not going to be selling your footage. We'll just be using it in our existing promotional campaigns. And it is, after all, images that we captured using our equipment of our boats in our lake, in our park, being attacked by our shark.
What are you editing out of it?
Essentially, you lot.
Interesting. I can see why you'd edit out Stefan.
We will not literally be editing out the people entirely, you understand, but we will be making them anonymized.
Okay.
Stefan chips in and says, "Well, why would you make us anonymous when we could do regular appearances here? The people who survived the giant shark attack would surely draw some form of tourism."
I mean, I take your point, and if you were interested in discussing a regular appearance, maybe an opportunity to talk to an assembled crowd about your experience, then of course we would happily show unedited footage to support that narrative. But for advertising purposes, I think we'll leave it up to the viewer that they could easily insert themselves into your position. That sense of excitement, I think, works better if you are blurred and not identifiable. Sorry, but that's the way I feel.
That's Kara shrugs. That's what my past lovers have always told me. Let's call a. We need to call a group huddle to decide on what we're going to ask for. Should that group huddle be while the referee goes to the toilet?
Actually, I think that might be a good
It's
moment.
about time, isn't it?
If we take our brief halftime break,
Yeah.
change ends, slice of orange, we will resume in a few minutes. And yes, you can have a discussion to see if there's anything you do want to take advantage of, while you have the undivided attention of Lan Patero.
Oh, good old Lampetero. Oh, I say good old. He's a bit slimy, but yes. Anyway, so for everyone else, we are going on a break for about 5 minutes. Enjoy. We've got some adverts. Enjoy the adverts because we're sellouts. No one's making any money out of this, though. And then make sure you've got a drink ready. It's very vital you have a drink ready for the second half for the customary toast. But we will see you all in about 5 minutes.
See you in a few.
Snide's Return is a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play using a variety of different systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snidesreturn.squarespace.com.
From the ashes of empire, a new hope beyond man. The Trinity. Mirai, Thren, and human now bound as sisters, the first interspecies alliance embarks on a journey to build a better future. Old ghosts and new threats loom. Cold darkness and cruel light threaten to engulf the fringes of the frontier at the flare of an engine. But rejoice, my friends, for only from the darkness may we see the stars.
Welcome back to part 2. I think everything's working. Everyone's looking up again. That's good. We start part 2 with a toast, which is still my job for the next day or two. And then I hope I'm rolling hot so I can pass it off onto you, Ewan. Our man in our pictures and in all our avatars and so on is Greyhill Bast, an NPC who was more than an NPC. He was a barman. He was a steward. He was a meat shield. He's now a globby mess that we couldn't turn into a buttocks on a bar with his toe dangling out after he'd died to dip our drinks into. It sounds worse than it. No, it's about as bad as it actually was.
Yeah.
I'm glad that we failed, and instead we painted this picture, and we toast. And he was a fine man. He served our crew many drinks. And so we remember him the way he'd have wanted, by raising a drink to the late, great Greyhill Bast.
Greyhill Bast.
Oh. See, I even poured my wine for it because I felt drinking a beer would be disrespectful to the great man.
No such thing as drinking beer disrespectfully.
I'll find a way.
There is when you drink what Luke drinks.
Oh right, yes, of course.
I was on the Amstel. I'm now onto the Soul, which I'm struggling at this point, but we're doing what we can.
There's some kind of soul-related joke in there.
There is.
Somewhere.
There's only space for one soul, and if you're drinking it, you don't have one.
Yes, no doubt that's completely true.
It sounds about right, to be honest. And for those that might have watched last night, so much drinking my wine out of a Quarks bar glass, a DS9 reference. So
Really?
classy. Yeah, classy. Yeah. Anyway, enough of that. We had our huddle, and we've come up with things that we would like to suggest, if that's okay.
Yes, absolutely.
This is Cara talking, because statistically she's the one with the best the best dice chance. There's 3 things we would like, and we don't think any of you're welcome to yes or no to any of them, and we don't think any of them put you in a horrible situation or cost you too much money. Firstly, have you heard of a man called Homer Dawes?
Yes, I think so.
He's a man that works with trading on this planet, and we were interested in trading with him. Is there anything you could do, either by talking to him or telling us information that might give us a slightly better deal in what we're trying to buy or sell?
As a company, we've dealt with him occasionally when we've needed things moved on or off world, I think. If I may offer just a personal opinion.
Yeah.
Roll a persuade check for me with intellect or social, your choice.
Thank you very much. Just as well, because I rolled a 5. 9.
Okay. I would probably try to avoid relying on his skills too much.
Okay.
If you could find an actual end user for your goods, that would probably be better for you, I would think. Mr. Dawes is well-meaning, but his skills are not of the finest. So perhaps instead of actually using him to negotiate on your behalf, you should get the contact details, where he can find someone who might be interested.
Yeah.
Go and see them yourselves, and then just offer him something for his trouble.
Cool. That's very helpful. Thank you very much. Thank you for that information. We find it very helpful. The second thing is we rescued, while we were in the water, we rescued a guy who works for Black Sun, who we believe run the security at the park. And if I do say so, they were very. You couldn't tell there was security. It was a very relaxed place. I think they've done a very good job, and they're a credit to you and your company and what you're
Excellent.
running. We're wondering whether we could, if you could arrange for us a meeting with someone at their headquarters on the planet.
Yes, absolutely. Yes, no trouble at all.
Fantastic.
I will get someone to organise that for tomorrow morning. So if you, I'll get you the appropriate contact. Certainly, I'm sure I can get you in with the CEO.
Thank you very much. Could you make it for tomorrow afternoon, if that's possible?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
It might be a heavy night.
It might be a heavy night. We need our beauty sleep.
After the turmoil of a shark attack, you understand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the last one is the sort of thing we feel that you might just have some vouchers for in your desk anyway. But we plan to be on the planet for another sort of 5 days, 6 days or so. And we're going around all the more eclectic parts up north.
Okay.
Is there any sort of tours or sort of that involve maybe drinking or sort of, a crawl or street food or something that's kind of organised that you could get us onto, if that makes sense? But a Mardi Gras kind of tour, something, fun, told a bit about the history while we drink and eat.
The Sellville city authorities don't offer anything like that themselves, I don't think. The city is of modest size, and they assume people will wander and find their own entertainment. However, we do run a VIP service, the form of a personal local tour guide to people who come to visit Earth Park and pay for the privilege. We can certainly give you access to one of our guides, and though it won't be a formal thing, they can help escort you from place to place, point out the best places to eat, drink, and the best things to do in the city.
Sounds perfect. Could we look at doing that like the day after tomorrow? Could someone come and knock on our hotel room sort of the day after tomorrow, and we'll kick off from there? Is that something that you'd be okay with?
Absolutely fine. Will you be staying in the Earth Park Hotel at that point?
Carl will look round at Agnar. He's like, "Should we stay? It's a nice room. Should we stay one more night at the hotel before we move up?" So yeah, we'll stay another night at the hotel. Yeah, not a problem.
Okay. then yes, that's absolutely fine.
Fantastic. Thank you very much. And to be honest, we're simple people of simple pleasures. We've had a wonderful time, a lovely time. And Cara turns around and says, unless any of you guys want anything else? Agnar, Stefan, Rose, anyone want anything else?
Agnar will just say, I want to be the first person with the shark on my app. As soon as it goes live, I want a message.
If you are on Selville, when we make the change and add it in as a formal part of the tour, then yes, of course.
Wonderful. Stefan just shakes his head. He's quite happy. He's quite happy with everything that we
quite right.
We've arranged.
Then I guess that's all. That's all we want. Thank you for welcoming us here. Thank you for, for seeing us. Thank you for sort of the apologies and the understanding and for what you've offered. And may all your dreams come true and all your Christmases be white.
Well, thank you. Excellent.
Don't know what else to say. Ran out of words.
Okay. If that's it, then you can obviously make your way out. He happily shakes your hand and waves you off as you disappear out onto the streets, now dark and lit by artificial lighting. The thing you notice on your way down in the lift, because you can see from this fairly substantial height quite a long way out over the majority of the city of Selville, it appears that the train tracks that connect the various peaks together are lit up at night in a fairly vibrant green color, which means that the peaks, which obviously have their own just random lights wherever people need them, seem to be sort of strung together on this green sort of chain, which is quite appealing to look at.
That's beautiful, that.
Yeah, nice.
I'm guessing it's quite warm there, right? It's nicely warm. It's sort of that sort of.
Yeah, it's a very pleasant evening. Yes.
So we're feeling happy for ourselves. We've seen beautiful surroundings. The booze
Not as
is
cold as Luke and I were earlier.
Yeah, brief, yeah. And the booze is still giving us a little tingle in our bellies and in our cheeks. It's been a good evening, and it feels like the right evening to finish off by heading back to join the other two to drink and party the night away, having just dodged death and seen a lot of amazing animals.
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Okay. Yes. As you leave into the street, can I have a streetwise check, everybody, please?
Oh.
Oh.
Is this just streetwise?
It's alright. It's only streetwise. It's not survival. We're okay.
Streetwise will be with intellect, please.
Okay. Wonderful.
Oh well, that person's not very streetwise.
Worse for Agnar, better for Stefan. By some way.
Probably because she's drunk.
Let's do Agnar first. Ooh, blimey. Agnar, he rolled a 2. -3. And I shall use different dice for Stefan.
Agnar's clearly got his face down in the app waiting for the Megalodon to be added. Come on. He said he was going to add it. Why has he not added it yet? Come on. Come on.
I haven't even a message. He hasn't called.
So Agnar is not actually aware which planet he's on. Fair enough.
Yeah, I can imagine. Stefan got a 9 + 2.
Oh, he's all right then.
An 11. Okay.
Yes.
Kara hit a 5 because she's not really paying attention either. So Rye hit a 7 + 1, 8.
Okay. All right. On the street outside, there are a handful of people milling about, sort of enjoying the relatively warm, fairly early evening. There is just the faintest beginnings of a chill in the air, as if it's going to turn a bit colder overnight. But at the moment, it's still very pleasant. There's a fairly gentle breeze, and you're standing directly outside the Earth Park building with its screens all around the outside showing scenes from Earth Park, which means you can actually see some of the nighttime activities of the park, including nighttime theatrical performances in the area just off the fragrant forest, and some of the groups of people watching the animals in the various enclosures as they meander about in the evening. It seems in particular that the direwolves seem quite active at night, so that there are quite a few of them, wandering about and jumping up and down on various rocks in their enclosure. As you look around, nothing in particular sort of stands out beyond the fact that everyone seems to be very, very relaxed. This is a fairly relaxed sort of environment for people, and you are seeing mostly Earth Park employees and tourists from the hotel in this area.
Okay. So I guess we find out where they're hanging out.
Yes. Yes, indeed. Yeah, the Rose and Rick have found themselves a bar just not very far away from the brasserie, and have settled in with a bottle of wine between them and are chatting amiably. Rick seems to be thoroughly enjoying the company of an attractive young woman.
Oh, now I feel like we're interrupting.
It depends what the expression on Rose's face is, quite frankly.
Well, we are talking about a woman who has handled the affections of men in the past, shall we say.
She knows how to handle herself, doesn't she? She's all right. Rose is okay. Yeah.
And, I mean, he may be looking interested, but there's nothing... there doesn't seem to be any tension or anything.
Yeah.
Cool. Okay. In this bar, do they have anything so humble as a beer mat? Anything like that? From looking around at the tables.
You know what? I'm tempted to say no, but of course, beer mats are actually a really, really clever piece of engineering. I'm struggling to think how you would do better than that.
Exactly.
In the future, if
Perfect.
you see what I mean. The beer mat or the coaster of any kind really is a perfectly designed thing for its task. Yes, I'm sure there would be branded beer mats. Yes.
Kara's going to... are there many empty tables? Because Kara wants to cruise around and grab like a dozen beer mats. Is that something she can do without too much trouble?
I don't see why not. Yeah.
I'll ask the guy at Earth Park HQ for some beer mats.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We should have added that. We want 4 things. We want better trading,
Beermat.
better trading, a meeting
Are
with the
you
security.
just going to like sort of help yourself to a handful from the table, or are you trying to do it subtly?
I'll help myself to it because we're trying. Sarai's going to go up and order a round of drinks anyway, so we're clearly we're punters that are spending money, and we're here to bring joy and pleasure, like we always do. We always bring joy and pleasure to where we are. The only thing the bar's got to worry about is that when we leave, they'll have a whole new owner.
That's true.
Knowing the way we go about things,
but to be fair, it is when you leave that most people experience the joy and the pleasure. So, so the two go together. Don't they?
How dare you? How very dare you? I thought we were getting on quite well this evening. There was no survival rolls or anything. Kara's going to grab a handful of beer mats and she's going to come back to the table, I guess, as Sarai comes back with the drinks and hands them all round. And she's going to proclaim, she says, I've been making these toasts to Grey Hill Bloody Bast for weeks. And I think it's time that we throw that back on the table again and offer up a challenge for the ages for who should be the new Toastmaster. She says, I've come up with a challenge, and I think it's fair, and I think that because I currently do it, I think I should be exempt, but I think that Soraya, Agnar, and Stefan, and the other two, if they wish to, if Rose and Rick want to, should all enter into this competition. And the competition is as follows. It is an old game we used to play when I was at art college, so it could frankly be anything.
He rolls his eyes.
Yeah, of course he rolls his eyes. He says, it's a classic. All you need to do is, with one hand, you take a drink, and as you drink, you have a beer mat half on and half off the table. Flick it up, catch the beer mat before it hits the table again. It's a classic old drink. It's a classic old drinking game.
It is an absolutely standard drinking game, yes. We've all done it.
Absolutely.
Not well, but we've all done it.
And the idea is we start with one mat, and if anyone gets through one mat, you stack two mats. And you've got to try and gather the two mats, and if anyone gets through that, it's three mats. And the last person standing will choose who makes the toast.
I don't know. I think that's unfair. I think you should just have a straight competition, and whoever does the worst does the toast.
Does the toast. Okie dokie. I'm happy with that.
I don't think it's fair to put on the winner the responsibility of picking.
I was just going to choose Kara.
Yeah, of course you were. Of course you were. Oh, you've exempted yourself from the competition, have you? In which case.
But because of that, Kara and Soraya both have to play.
Yeah, okay, dokie. Let's do it.
And yes, Rick and Rose will, of course, happily join in.
Excellent.
My pre-warmed dice.
Right, so how are we doing this? Are these are going to be dex throws, presumably?
I'm assuming they're decks, which totally sets up to Ewan, but I just thought it was quite fun anyway, to be honest.
Yeah. All right. So...
Although, I would like to point out, could I suggest... Because there is going to be... The idea is they've got to drink at the same time, and there will be banter. Could we do Dex plus carouse?
Yes, why not?
Thank you.
Carouse plus Dex, yes.
Carouse plus
Good plan.
Yep.
Okay, that will certainly help Rose.
I was going to say, it gives Rose a chance, so bless her.
Yeah, that's going to be very handy for Rose. She's on +4.
She's the queen of carouse. Of course she would be, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, that's her Dex and her carouse added together, you
understand. Oh, good stuff. I'm glad.
That's very handy. It's fair to say it does not help Rick Verla.
Yeah. How upset is Rick looking right now?
He's on -3.
Oh, Rick.
So it could be worse for me then.
That's it.
Yes, I'm afraid he has no corrals at all. And his dex is not special.
Oh.
Right then.
Okay. So, I guess we'll just roll for the effect, won't we? Whatever the total is.
Yep. Or we could do it one at a time. Let's do one at a time. Let's get the performance. The table's there. We're drinking. It's set up. There's the mat.
One at a time.
The drink is
Okay,
there on
so
another
who's
beer
going
mat.
first?
Cara will say, as I'm currently the holder of this task, I shall go first.
Okay.
I'll set the benchmark. Yeah, get that. Ooh. Go. She grabs the glass with one hand, rests her hand under with the other, takes a drink, flicks it up, catches it, because it is 6 + 2 = 8.
An 8. Okay, that's a pretty good mark.
There we go. Mostly down to her carousing skills, quite frankly. She talked a good game. She hid the fact that she sort of fumbled it somewhat by being like, "Oh yes, look at me, look how good I was."
All right.
The drinking skills paid off for the slightly
underperformance. Yeah.
X.
Okay. Well, Rose will say, "I'll go next."
Ooh.
So she picks up her glass.
Oh no.
16.
60. Ah.
Oh man.
She does a spin while it's in the air. A
12 + 4.
a
16.
A spin with a 2-finger catch. Yes.
Yeah. She was probably doing cartwheels at the same time. I mean.
Cara gets her hands on the back, starts doing the old massage with the neck. Yeah, champ. Good stuff.
Jeez. Stefan will sort of look a little bit in shock at that and say, I suppose I'll go next.
Okay.
Oh. Pick up his drink. Not do too badly at all. That's 10 + 3.
Oh,
Wow.
13.
13.
Strong.
That is a very, very good result. Yeah.
No, I mean, it's no 16.
No, that was a very good roll, let's be honest.
It was,
Okay.
I guess it's Soraya next, who hasn't got pluses to anything. So she's got a Crow 0 and a Dex 0, so she's rolling cold. She's rolling to the numbers. Here we go.
Flat roll, yeah.
Come on.
16 is probably not on the cards then.
No. And she just about fumbles it. It's a 7. So she sort of fumbles it once, grabs it just as it's touching the ground again. They're 7. She's
7. I think that means she is currently our trailer.
She is literally the trailer.
Oh.
Ooh,
So, come on, you or me first.
I don't mind. I'll go if you wish.
Okay.
As
I'm a bit worried about Rick's -3.
as Agnar rolls, can Cara start whispering some philosophy in it? Can I do some sort of philosophy roll against him to try and put him off? The philosophy of the history of the game. She'll talk about the science behind it when she was at college. When I was at college, Agnar.
When are you doing this?
As he's taking his drink before he's put it down.
He's down. He's drinking.
And she's whispering in his ear. She's like, I think you should be able to roll a defense roll on something for it.
Can he just put his drink down and turn on his sphere of solace?
Oh yeah, to go silence. Oi!
Absolutely can.
She's like, oh.
Pick his drink back up and roll.
Yeah.
Always,
Okay, go ahead.
always alone.
It's a 9 minus 1.
An 8.
It's an 8.
Right now.
Okay. Luke, you're not off the hook yet.
Come on,
Sorry,
Rick. I need
close.
I need less than
Come
10,
on.
Rick. Come on.
Yeah. Yes, that's right. He's got to at least equal 7 in order to take it to a decider, hasn't he?
Oh, man.
7 minus 3.
Yes. Cara throws her hands up, starts doing laps around the table. Yeah, a kiss on his cheek, a bit of football style chanting. Hey, Ricky Velo, Ricky Velo, Ricky Velo, Ricky Velo.
Yes. Okay. Well.
So toast duty passes to Rick, aka Ben.
Yes. and with that in mind, I suppose we should get one out of the way immediately, shouldn't we? So just very quickly to the late great Grey Hill Bast.
Grey Hill Bast.
Stefan will raise his glass once more and just say, perhaps next time we make it something less, based on your ability to do stuff with your fingers.
The fingers.
Less dexterous.
Dexterous.
Less skill based.
Some other form of skill.
That's true.
Arm wrestling.
Perhaps.
We've done shooting. We've done dexterity.
Mm-hmm.
Art. Something artistic. Or performance. Somersaults.
Oh, no, wait.
Translating an ancient script.
Yeah, a philosophy quiz. I can see that going down brilliantly. Yeah.
some kind of it was, I don't know, vehicle race.
Well, vehicle. Oh, I like it.
Well, yes.
We could always get back into Earth Park and get on those boats before they put those ropes up.
Oh, yeah.
Definitely, yeah.
How quickly can they put those ropes up, do you think?
Yes, competitive shark racing.
So as the drinks keep coming, Cara's planning to drink, as she does every now and again, heavily to the point where even if we come into something as we leave, she'll roll at a negative just because she's having a good night, if that makes sense.
Yes.
She's Cara's going for it. It's a big blow off for her because it's been a stressful week.
Yes, that I can understand, and you have a thoroughly pleasant, thoroughly nice evening, having a drink, having a catch up. Okay. That's very pleasant. It's a very pleasant evening, and when the time is right, you all roll your way gently out to the concourse again, the main boulevard, and down to your hotel when you're ready for night.
Oh, lovely. Is it a different person on the shift when we get in?
Yes.
Sarai just smiles at him and says, thank you for your hard work.
Why that one last guy?
Why the one guy?
Oh.
Yeah.
Questions that will never be answered.
Yes. There is a message behind the reception desk for you when you arrive back in. Which is, hold on a second, which I've completely lost. Right, yes. They are holding a book for you at Jojo's Antiques on Lata.
Oh, wonderful. JoJo's.
Mm-hmm.
So JoJo's Antiques.
Mm-hmm.
Perfect. Stefan will thank whoever passes on the message and ask them to pass on their thanks to Tim, whether they know
Tim.
that is
Tim. Thank Tim.
is in question, but that's what he'll go with. He'll go with Tim.
Good old Tim.
Excellent. Yes. Yeah, well, very welcome, of course. I hope it's everything you're hoping for.
He'll stick the note in his pocket and turn to Soraya and say, "Drinks in the room."
Yeah, she'll say, "We'll drink to Tim," and then head off to the lift.
Okay. Once again, the lift works flawlessly, carrying you up to the top floor. No ladders involved. It's fine.
Flawlessly.
Flawlessly. I thought we had to go through many floors.
And yes, you're starting to notice the air is getting chill. You are in a relatively small world, and you are quite a long way off the sea level on it. So though the sunshine is often very impressive during the day, at night it can get quite chilly, and it is beginning to turn quite cold. So perhaps drinking indoors rather than out is the way to go.
I think that's reasonable.
Yeah, I mean, Stefan might have a little swig out on the balcony and just look over the city from a height and admire it a little bit. All the
and
lights.
You're definitely wearing beer jackets after all.
Yeah, exactly. But not stay out too long. He'll go back inside and get comfortable.
Okay. Well, it is an uneventful evening. So if you guys eventually want to crash.
Yeah, I've got no reason to stay up.
Yeah.
Well,
sounds good.
Okay. The morning is once again bright and sunny, as it usually is at Sellville. The weather down in the valleys looks to be a bit more cloudy and rainy than it was yesterday, but you are above the rain clouds, and the weather is splendid. The hotel offers a perfectly nice breakfast and a successful cup of coffee. They definitely take pride in the fact that they are offering very much an Earth-like experience, as close as they can get to it. So it is fairly authentic coffee, fairly authentic Earth flavors, and an absolutely slap-up, cooked English breakfast.
Lovely. Which there's no way Cara can eat. The way she
I was about to say just what we need after a night like that.
She's on coffee and that's it, quite frankly.
Well, we clearly have different expectations of what cures a hangover.
Hangovers are cured by bacon and sausages.
Wearing 3 pairs of sunglasses cures hangovers.
And coffee.
Quite right. Yeah. Okay. So, what would you like to do this morning?
Soraya wants to check if Tim's on the counter.
Yes, he is back on the counter in the morning.
Cool. She goes over to Tim and says, "Hey Tim, how are you doing?"
Very well, thank you, ma'am.
We've had such a lovely time and you've been so wonderful for us. And we want to save your cleanup crew the big job they're going to have. So could we book the same rooms for one more night, please?
Absolutely. Yes, absolutely. He makes a little change in the computer, and you have all 3 suites for another night.
Fantastic. Let me just take 1,500 off. Oh, it's difficult maths. Hang on, it's okay. Nothing's too difficult for me. There we go. 4, 6, yes. Then she says, "Thank you, Tim. You're doing a wonderful job. Just don't you look in the rooms. You leave it to other people." And then she'll wander off to back to the cafeteria.
Yes, as she goes, Tim, as he will now be forever known, says, "I hope you enjoyed your breakfast. For some reason, I thought you might like a really large piece of fish."
Sarah turns around, stops, turns around, stares intently at him for a while, and then goes, "Oh you, oh you, oh you," and then her face drops immediately and just walks away.
Yes. Okay. So, what is your order of business for the morning?
We've got to see Homer Doors.
Yeah.
Do we have anything else booked in for the morning? Do we want to split? Is there much else on the island that you want to do, or do we all want to go over together?
I'm happy to make our way around together. I don't think anyone, neither of mine would be in a rush to move on. Stefan might be a bit eager to get to the end to, what's their name? But he's not in a hurry as such.
So we got Black Sun in the afternoon. Where is their head office, by the way? Well, where's their office, Ben? Black Sun?
Black Sun's office is... Let me just... is on Rena.
Oh, that's a long way. At least we get to see all the wonderful places we're going to go to as we go that way. And we get to scope out Mina for the gardeners as well.
Yeah.
Stefan could always hop off there if he needs.
I mean, we've got stuff to do pretty much, or stuff we would like to do in most places, haven't we, I think?
Yeah. I think we're filling our time, aren't we? We've got the trading this morning, then we've got Black Sun and Rena the afternoon. Then the day after is, I guess, we take the tour guide and head towards the 2 main parts for the next couple of days, and like a boat tour, hopefully, and all that. Yeah, we've definitely got things everywhere, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Cool.
Okay.
We're going to trade, but Cara wants to offer Rick and Rose an out if they want. She'll say, we're just going to go visit a guy about getting rid of some uncommon ore. It's not the most exciting thing in the world. It's very much business. Would you like to come, or would you like to meet us later somewhere?
They are both going to say they want to return to Earth Park, and they will plan to spend the day there unless you have some specific reason for them to go with you.
No reason. No reason, is there?
No, I don't think so.
So, realistically, Ben, to get round to the Black Sun thing, how long does it take on the train? How long would it take on the train? Like, could we do that in the afternoon and get the train back in the evening to get back to the hotel for another evening of hanging out?
Oh, very easily, yes. The round trip, I mean, the entire loop would take little more than half an hour.
Oh, fine, then that's perfect.
Ah, cool.
In which case, we'll say, yeah, we'll see you back outside the hotel, back at the hotel for another evening of hanging out if you want.
Brilliant. That sounds perfect. You're actually, at least for the first step, travelling in the same direction, of course, sort of.
Although we got to go trade first, haven't we?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you can, in essence, walk to the to the transit stop together.
Yes, of course.
And then they can hop on the train.
Perfect.
Cool.
There we go. Let's go and visit Homer.
Homer, yes.
Homer Doors. It sounds like it should mean something.
And yet it doesn't.
And yes, it doesn't. That's what's so frustrating.
Okay. Can I have each of you roll a quick streetwise check for me, please?
Oh, at least it's not survival.
With intellect.
Is that everyone?
Oh,
All of the PCs, please. Yeah.
No. So Rise rolled a 5. She's all over the place this morning.
Agmar's got a 4.
Oh, what's wrong with us? I'm rolling cold, man. I've not hit a good dice roll all evening.
-3.
Okay, that might be better. Plus, what did you say? Streetwise
And intellect.
Oh, thank goodness. Cara's hit a 9 then.
Yeah,
Okay.
7 plus 2 is 9.
All right. Okay. Right. You notice essentially that partly because of the time you're now moving, almost everybody you see is a tourist type making their way from the hotel to the transit stop and joining Rick and Rose as they jump onto the train and presumably in most cases head off to Earth Park for the day. That does seem to be the main thrust of what's happening for anybody who doesn't work in a business on Kuala itself. The place that you're aiming for to meet Homer Dawes is right at the southern tip of Kuala, almost overlooking the ridge line and the place where the transit actually enters the underneath of the plateau, where the sort of tunnel system begins under the plateau. And it is a very small office in a rented in a unit of available business space. There is very little distinctive about it, and it seems to be a sole trader operation, just large enough for Homer to have his own front door, his own sign outside it, and then an office inside with a coffee maker on the side. It is that kind of scale of operation. So as soon as you arrive and knock on the door, it's answered, and it is in fact Homer Dawes himself who greets you.
Carl had out a hand. Hey, Homer Dawes. My name's Cara. Nice to meet you. How are you doing?
Very well, thank you. Very well. Yes, business is booming, I think. So, what can I help you with?
You can help me with inviting us in and sort of letting us sit down. I prefer to do business sort of sat down rather than at the doorway, if that's okay.
Of course. Can I offer you tea, coffee?
I'll have a very strong coffee. Very strong coffee, please. And then sort of takes orders from everyone else, I guess, as they chirp in what they want.
Mm-hmm. He assembles a drink for everybody, and then once everyone's had a chance to have a quick sip of their coffee, he leans forward and clears his throat, clearly expecting business to begin.
Carl will say, "Thank you for seeing us this morning. You're clearly a man with very specific skills on this planet. What would you say you specialise in, goods-wise? I've got some goods. What do you specialise in?"
I'm really a middleman. I find people who are interested in buying or selling whatever you are looking for.
Do you ever the way you roll, do you take a cut of what's done, or could we take a name from you and offer you some money on the side instead?
Roll a persuade check with intellect or social. Your choice.
Thank you. It's kicking up now. 8 plus 4 is 12.
Okay.
Only when it's important.
I can do either way. I'm happy to take a finder's fee rather than my usual commission on the sale.
Kara says that's what I'd like to do. We massively, and I especially massively, respect you as your role, and of course, I totally trust that you will find us the best person, and of course, we're willing to pay for that name. It's just I think we feel that it's nicer to do the hard haggling face to face with someone else, and you don't have to get involved in that dirty stuff, and we can just sort out straightforward money now and ignore all that nonsense.
However you'd like to do business.
Cool. Carl will say we've got with us 20 tons of uncommon ore with precious metals in it, which we've brought over from Austin. Very well known, of course, like the premium place in the area, really, for such things.
Yeah.
We paid a fair price for it, and we're looking to pass it on to someone on Giikur.
Right. Okay. He fires up his little computer and he starts tapping away. And then he says, yep, there is a company that I've done business with before. They do small scale manufacturing, but they are probably your best bet for uncommon ore because they're always looking for materials that they can use for manufacturing custom items, and they do a lot of trade with jewelers and small scale craftsmen and artisans.
Oh, artisans, you're speaking my language.
So I think that would probably be your best bet. They are certainly who I would think would clearly pay the best price here for something as industrial as uncommon ore, because they have the facility to process it. They have the facility to then distribute the product to whoever might need it individually, a local trade deal, basically.
Carl, thank him for that. And before they start doing deals on the finder's fee kind of thing, so I don't like to leave a planet just selling. We're interested in buying as well, of course. What goods would you say have the, if I was to buy an item on Giikur, what goods would you say were the best to buy on Giikur to sell elsewhere? What like profit margin wise, what would you say is the most, is the best bet?
It depends on your scale, really. For a relatively small operation where you're transporting relatively light volumes, there isn't a lot on Giikur except for custom individual items.
I could take up to 100 tons.
Okay. I wouldn't think this was the place to purchase things for trade, to be honest. You might get lucky, in which case I would probably go and talk to a contact I have who has an office in the downport, because they sometimes have trade goods that are passing through, shall we say. That might be where you could pick up volume trade. The only other thing I can really suggest is Giikur's main export is fresh and frozen fish. So if you're happy to take food, then you may find a good market.
Fish. Soraya's mind flicks back to Tim making jokes about fish at the counter, and she sort of strangles down a shudder in the background. And Carl says, "Okay, so here's the deal. I'd love your small scale manufacturer that works with the jewelers and artisans. Mm-hmm. I'd like you to put a word in with your contacts in Downport, and the best person to approach for fish. What sort of fee is that going to cost?"
Oh, I think I can put you in touch with the relevant people for 1,000 credits.
Kara looks him up and down and says, "Are you a gambling man, Homer?"
I'm a broker, of course I am.
She pulls out a
beer mat.
She pulls out a beer mat. Says, "Stefan, come over here. I need you."
Damn it, we let Rose go.
Curses, she was the best one of the lot of us. What's that game called? I've been looking into it. They play it a lot in Australia. It's with the two coins, the double heads and the head and the tail, and I should know it if I'm going to play it.
What, twos or two up?
Yeah, two up. Yeah. Kara will say, "I'll tell you what. Shall we play two up for it?" And explains the rules, because of course you know it, so you know. Mm-hmm. So if I can win it, if I come out as victor, I'll pay 500. I'll pay 500 credits. Mm-hmm. If you're the victor, I'll pay you 1,500 credits.
Deal.
Fantastic. So I guess, are we going to just do a 2 double dice roll for it? Highest wins?
Yep, I think so.
Can I have my gambling skill, please?
Yeah, you most certainly can, yes.
Thank you very much.
You can't add anything but gambling, of course.
That's fine.
Because it is just luck, but yeah.
Yep. Nice. Oh, okay. I hit a 7 + 1, 8. So it's middling.
5.
Yeah. 500 credits. She shakes his hand very quickly and says, "Thank you, an honourable man."
Okay. All right. The manufacturing company, or the industrial company, is called Pathway Corporation.
Oh, good for the encyclopedia.
They have an office on Venti.
Mm-hmm.
And they can handle the your uncommon ore. I mean, they may not offer you a price you'll like, but they'll certainly offer you the best price.
Okay, thank you.
If you want to talk to my contact in the Downport, his name's Auric de Salve.
How are we spelling de Salve?
Deesalve.
Salve. I love this name of Auric de Salve. He sounds like he should be in like a a romantic French novel of the 1700s. Arrêt de Save. Yep.
Yep. And the largest entity for handling the fishing industry down on the surface of the planet itself. There are a number, but the one you should probably be dealing with is the Waterfall Group.
Waterfall Group.
And they also have offices on Venti.
Kara thanks him greatly, and she's got his details. She pings him over like her virtual business card, I guess, which used to be a very arty type one that she sort of scribbled underneath plus trader. Yeah. Art, visual media, performance plus trader in a totally different font.
Beermat flipping.
Beermat flipper. No, I wasn't that good at that. You say thank you. Stay in touch. If you need anything, if you want anything, just let me know.
Thank you.
You've been very helpful. And that's all Kara needs to do for now. I'll leave those for a few sessions, I think.
Okay. Excellent. So are you done here?
I'm done here. You guys don't want to get up to any naughty shenanigans, do you?
No, I don't think so. There's nothing that springs to mind.
Okay.
It certainly doesn't sound like Agnar's bag. Naughty shenanigans.
Naughty shenanigans.
Then,
Well, I never.
Homodors shakes you by the hand and sees you out, and you walk outside into this sort of it's industrial corner, fairly narrow little bit industrial units. There's nothing particularly exciting there, and as you leave, you hear someone call out, "Over here."
Stefan turns to look.
Okay. Tucked around the side of the industrial unit, not exactly hiding, but leaning up against a wall discreetly, you see Seva.
Seva.
He gives you a sort of half smile and beckons you over.
Yeah, Stefan will sort of, look to everyone else, I guess. Are we... Let's go over.
Let's go over. Let's talk to our old friend Seva.
We'll wander over.
You walk over, and he sort of beckons you into the shadow of the building, and he says, "I could use your help." And he then looks furtively around him a little bit to make sure nobody's listening in. And he leans forward, and that's where we'll call it for tonight.
That dastardly Seva. He knows how to catch my attention.
Seva, every time.
It's always on Seva. Always Seva. the king of the cliffhanger.
Yeah.
Oh. And on that bombshell, while we give Ben a swift kicking behind the bins, we hope everyone has a wonderful weekend. We're back next week on Wednesday. Bonus Wednesday, 11 o'clock UK time, which I believe is 6 p.m. Eastern. And we say Eastern because that's important, because we are talking to Pat. Pat is the designer of... I'm going to find the advert now while I'm doing it. Oh, no, I've got to get rid of that bottom bit. Oh, no, look at that. I'm so Slick. Pat is the designer of, or at least co-designer of a new tabletop roleplay game called Change Stars, which is launching on Kickstarter on Tuesday, and we've got an interview on Wednesday. So we're feeling very much the cock of the walk. I went a bit toast of London there. The cock of the walk.
Cock of the walk.
The cock of the walk.
Yeah.
So we're going to chat hopefully for an hour or so. Find out a bit more about it. It's space based. It's it was feminist. It was feminist, queer, communist, sci-fi. Loving the art, loving the sound of it. It ticks a lot of boxes, and we're going to learn a lot more on Wednesday. So please join us. Looking forward to that. So that is Wednesday. We might do a session on Thursday as well. And then if we're awake, and then Friday we will meet up for our usual play to find out what that dastardly Sever says.
What he wants now.
Dastardly Sever. But until then, have a wonderful weekend, everyone, and we will see you next week.
Cheers.
Good night. Thank you.
Good night.